Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are talking all about breast wellness. I'm Janet and special guest here is Nurse Lynn Fraley. Welcome.
Thank you, Janet.
So Lynn, what do you have to say about breast wellness and why is this session, this topic here, this conversation we're gonna have, why is it so important?
It's really a life or death matter that women take responsibility for their own breast health because the healthcare system truly can work against us. The pressure, the harassment practically sometimes from providers so they can maybe comply with their metrics, I'm not quite sure. But there's just no reason to be obsessed about breast disease when we basically have healthy breasts. And if there's an issue, we can manage it naturally with very wonderful, expert, experienced providers that anyone can talk to on the telephone. So it's not that you don't live in the right area and you don't have access to people who can help you, but it's a global opportunity for us to, they're global resources, I should say, to take care of ourselves.
Okay, so for example, I'm 43 and I'm a little confused because growing up I saw my mother always getting, breast exams. I hear a lot on the news, your TV, breast, get your mammograms, and like breast cancer, pink breast cancer society, pink, and why is it's fear? Honestly, that gives me fear. I mean, should I be nervous about something?
And
at 43, what am I looking for, Lynn?
And why would you want to be? Well, you're a health person yourself, so what you're looking for is for health and wellness, and not listening to the chatter and to the propaganda and the conditioning. Because if you think about this all the time, and how we've been pressured and how the providers send out notices and people will tell me, I've gotten 7 notices and I just feel like I should go in because my doctor wants me to. I'm thinking, you're going in for a mammogram that you don't want? What's the point of that? So it's a business model. It's just frankly a business model. And we have the choice to get the breast exams with the mammograms or not. It's an absolute choice. You want it, fine. You don't want it, fine. But it's not just getting an exam. A breast scan's not going to give you breast health. That's absurd. It's like taking your temperature. It's not going to affect what your body temperature is. It's just going to tell you what it is. And the mammograms are so full of errors that that's just a whole other conversation. So the idea is to just know that you have healthy breasts. Our breasts were not conditioned to be sick. A breast, but no other part of our body. But it's an easy target, one might say, for the healthcare system.
So tell me why are you passionate about this and how did you get involved? I know you're a nurse. What's your background experience for someone who's saying, well, what does this woman got to say about this?
My background and experience is working with people who were harassed, and I saw a revolving door in
As
healthcare.
a nurse, right?
As a nurse, I saw the revolving door. We got it all, we didn't get it all. And I remember thinking, either you get it all, or you don't get it all. And the truth is, now I know that cancer is pretty much in all of us, and it comes and goes. And you say, oh, well, it doesn't fit the medical model. I don't care. It does come and go. And just because some tiny little part might show up, I know enough at this point in my life about healing, and that I have seen people healed. I know of people who've left deathbeds from cancer, who were on the way out. That's it. Are your affairs in order? And they changed their lifestyle and they recovered. And you know that in your own work. You've seen that.
As a holistic.
And as a nurse, as a traumatic
coach,
as a provider of services.
Right.
And to me, it's a shameful event that we are pressured like we are as women, and there's just no reason for it. We can let go of the fear, and people, we live with fear in the environment. I'm sure your mother would say, make sure you get checked, Janet, make sure you get checked. And you go, when you know that the check
conditioned.
She's conditioned. A lot of people are conditioned at every age, and then death. I remember as a young nurse thinking if I had a problem with cancer, I would die. Well, that's kind of this heavy conditioning. So if you don't follow the doctor's orders, and I know wonderful doctors, they just care, and they're restricted in how they can practice. They don't have the freedom to practice that other providers have. So I encourage you to always work with the provider who you trust and be sure that who you're working with meets your own needs and not is someone telling you what to do in the most wonderful, caring, compassionate way that's going to lead you to a path that you may not want to be on.
Okay, so you've seen a lot in your years and you are just advocating for women to not feel lost, not feel confused, because as I said, I do about that. I'm like, well, do I get checked? I feel really good. I'm not looking for any trouble. And I mean, if I wanted to get tested, just to kind of see where I'm at, what do you recommend? How do I go about this? Just to kind of say, you know what, this doesn't run in my family, but I just want to make sure the girls are good. You do it, you know, you touch your, you know, do you check yourself? Like, what do you think?
What's really effective and strongly supported with scientific literature are ultrasounds, thermography. There's even a water immersion type of mammogram without the radiation or pressure.
Wow.
And that's
I didn't know about that.
That's available in isolated places. I'm going to be talking more about that.
Okay.
If you're concerned and if you really feel compelled to get the exam. Otherwise, a lot of people will wait if something happens, but there are a lot of conditions that set up disease in the breast, and that's for another topic.
Okay.
Well, I'll even say right now, tight bras. Whatever, how does any part of the body work when you've got compression on it? You know, you wear shoes that are too tight, you wear clothing that's too tight, your body responds. And if you wear a garment that's too tight on your body, so you look good, so your tits are up a little bit higher, you know, and you're putting yourself at risk for breast cancer.
Right, because bras stop blood circulation.
They compress lymph flow too. And
Not good.
And I think women know.
I mean, is there breast cancer because there's no breathing room and oxygen flows, blood circulation?
Sidney Ross Singer wrote a whole book. It was out 20 years ago. I bought one of the earlier copies. He's coming out with a new edition, Dressed to Kill.
Wow.
The link between bras and breast disease.
There's a book?
Forever. And he sent the findings to all these major organizations. No one returned his phone call. Because we're dealing with a business, and that's okay. I'm pro-business, but I'm not pro-death. And we as women we're never collected to come in for an exam. You know, we get pressured into it, and we can build our own confidence and our own courage and get clarity about all this, and just say no, if that's what we want to do. I think every woman should do exactly what she wants to do and not feel pressured by anybody.
And have options, know about them too.
Lots
not
of
just
options.
mammogram. Because let's talk about really quick here. Mammograms, what are the effects? What can happen? Is it radiation with the mammogram?
Well, radiation is a known cause of cancer. There are very few absolutely known causes. There are associations, but known causes of cancer is radiation.
Right.
So, with the mammogram, the breasts are compressed with up to 50 pounds of pressure, and at that moment of inflammation are irradiated.
That's painful.
Worse than painful than perhaps provoking something that might come up later. So that, well, you all come back next year, or in 2 years from now. And we know that some cancers can be slow growing. So if you're continuing causing a condition with technology that's known to cause cancer, what could go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But again, you say, well, my doctor recommends it. You know, bless your doctor. I'm sure your doctor is giving you good care, and your doctor is probably under some kind of pressure to go ahead and get a certain percentage of their patients in for the mammogram. And it's an old model, and we can just say no. Thank you so much for your concern, doctor. Thank you so much. I know you care about me. I know you care about me. I really know you're concerned. And then the doctor thinks they're going to make the deal, and you say, but I'm not going to do this now, but thank you for your encouragement, because they will continue to send you notices until you say, I choose not to have it. Someone told me yesterday who was more elderly, she said, I'm afraid to go to a doctor who will say I refused it, because then I might be considered not capable of taking care of myself. So she's going to go to somebody else for more advice, because
that's fear.
That's fear.
And fear mongering in the system.
Right. So our breasts are essentially healthy. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay.
We take care of ourselves. The compression for the bras blocks lymph, and we all know about lymph because did they find it in the lymph nodes? Always question. Did it go to the lymph? Well, of course it might have gone to the lymph, because the lymph is part of your immune system, and it clears. So the fact that it's in your lymph doesn't mean that you shoot the messenger. You don't take that up and then stop this whole flow, and then end up with a lot of other problems. Lymphedema. Oh, we can treat that. You do not want to be treated for any of that. So it's basically getting a picture of the whole picture. And I say, don't have a scan before a plan. I work with clients to help them wrap their head around the big picture. It's not mammograms, yes, mammograms, no. It's what's the whole picture, what are a lot of things that contribute, Definitely.
A well-rounded, wholesome approach.
Well, because we are triggered by
It's not
different
just
things.
one thing.
Not just this scan, not that scan. Or which scan should we look at? Should we use to look for cancer? A, why are you looking for cancer? Oh, because they told me I
Right.
should. Sure, of course they did. They tell you to buy that car, they tell you to buy that coffee, they tell you to buy a lot of things. And does that mean that that's what serves you best?
Okay, thank you, Lynn. That's really helpful.
Thank you, Janet.
Someone, my 43, a lot of us, we're starting to learn, we've been conditioned, our families, our parents. Is it time now at 43 to start going in there and finding out, so this gives me more clarity on trusting that, seeing where I'm at, let me check in and what are my options? Is it just one thing, the mammogram, or what are my options? And now
Right.
I know it's not one way.
Right. And you're essentially healthy.
Okay.
And if your intuition says, I don't feel like doing that, bless you. Now, I don't say everyone's going to live forever. Some people die of some things no matter what. I learned that as a young nurse too. And my mother died early. She was complete. So just because people die doesn't mean that there's a treatment failure or even a personal failure. It's part of the path. So we're not going to live forever. We don't have to look for blame and shame about who did what for health. But we make our best judgments and use our intuition.
Okay, and what I'm seeing here too is like in your experience, you've seen the sad part of what happens in the system with the mammograms in women, and you know better. There's something, it's just not.
Touches my heart. It just
Yeah.
makes me sad when I see women say, well, I really didn't want to, or I watched my mother die, and it's like, it's very hard to extract oneself from all those emotions that have been present all the time. And then people are pressured, oh, you should do this. We've been through a piece of history where people got a lot of pressure to do things that they didn't want, and in retrospect, wish they hadn't done it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just repeating the same thing. This BS about breast health has been going on for a long time.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
And
Go ahead.
go ahead, Lynn.
Women should just trust that they have healthy breasts. Why would we not have healthy breasts? I would really think that's where you start. And you let people who have their own fear have their own fear. They don't have to transfer it to you.
Thank you, Lynn. And can we end off with giving the women and just the public in general, they want to share this with their mother, their sister, a loved one. What do you have to say about breast wellness and how to look at this? How to look at the topic of breast wellness overall? Is it what you're saying about what is wellness? What is breast wellness to you? What does it mean to you?
I'd say the complete picture. I don't feel like my breasts are any healthier or worse than any other part of my body. They're a part of my body. And if I hydrate, if I follow the kind of programs that you recommend, I just did a 14-day juice cleanse with Janet, and I wasn't hungry, and I felt great, and I knew my body felt better. I felt more alive. It's cleaning, and the idea of just taking care of, and you don't have to do that, but it's basically taking care of our whole body, and not being tricked into thinking that a part of our body is going to get diseased, but the rest of it is fine, and it's absurd. So.
Kind of like your lifestyle too, like you just went sailing, so you see all of these things as healing and supportive to breast wellness. It's a whole thing, like you just
Nourishing the spirit, body and soul.
Thank you, Lynn.
And I have, I'm happy to talk with people. I wrote a book on breast wellness, and a lot of people say, I'm not sure, my doctor, and so there's this incredible loyalty to doctors, which I think is fine.
So what is your book? You have a book.
Cherish the Girls,
Okay.
A well-rounded approach to breast health and wellness.
Great.
And complete picture, but I find it really helpful to process with people.
Okay.
And I have other programs, so I'm lynnfraley.com.
So where can they find you? This is Lynn's channel. Obviously, you're here. Where can they find you? They want to reach out. How does someone get in contact with you?
Press the connect below.
Oh, right down below, we do have all of Lynn's information, how you can find her, her email, and links right down below. Is that?
That's true, and also Nurse Lynn Fraley at Instagram.
Oh, okay. And an email? Do you have an email?
lynnfraley@me.com.
Great. And so also right down below, you can see all of Lynn's information to stay in touch and reach out to her.
Thank you, Janet.
Yes. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Yeah, just trust yourself and don't get sucked into other people's fear and control and manipulation, and just know that that's not how you were born. It's not your birthright. Your birthright is to be healthy, whole, healed, and use your spirit.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you so much, Janet.
All right, all. Have a beautiful day. See you soon.
Thank you.